Hey everybody, we're talking about some fantastic subjects, or one main subject is who am I, what am I, and it is pretty important subject for everybody, and we're a lot more than what you may think. So if you find value in this as you watch it, I would appreciate it if you just smash the like button. It means a lot to us and it helps us grow, and we really appreciate it. And so just to start this thing off, you're going to die. Yeah, but just think about that for a minute. Like, you're just going to be dead. And being dead doesn't mean you're still alive. You are dead. And wow, that, we can intellectually think about that and go, okay, I realize I'm going to be dead, and hopefully I'll leave something of value emotionally and intellectually and materially to the people that I love. Not sure you're going to know. And I got to tell y'all a quick story because this was so crazy. I've been to my mom's house, like everybody, a cajillion times. I was there the other day, and I was wearing like some sandals, kind of like I'm wearing now, but they were a little bit longer. And she has this little doggy gate thing on the outside of her door. So when you open it up, and the dogs can't, just run off. And I've stepped over that thing countless times. These long sandals caught on it. Holy crap. I went, and it was a split second. Like, I knew and was aware I was stepping over this gate, and there was no sensation of falling. I didn't see myself fall. And being in martial arts a lot, I've practiced being pushed from behind and rolling and how to fall. I didn't have time for any of that. Like, there was nothing. I was instantly face down on the garage. And the only thing I think that snapped me away from it is I had a cigar in my mouth, unlit, chomped it. It was bit tight, and it was smashed all up against my face, like just smashed. So I think that cigar saved me from getting a broke nose. But it instantly, like right in that moment, my elbows and wrists were sore. I was like, man, I could have hit my head just right and have been dead. And I'd have never known it. My last memory would have been stepping over a doggy gate. I was like, wow. Which instantly made me start thinking about, like, does all that stuff matter? Like, I started thinking about, okay, I get bombarded just like all of y'all do by everybody coming at us with stuff nonstop. Everybody needs something. Everybody wants something. Everybody is you feel just, can I do everything? Can I get it all done? I'm like, I don't know if that matters, because when I stood up with my sore elbows, my hands, I was like, I wouldn't have known anything. I don't know where I would have went. I don't know. Like, it would have been over. That would have been somebody else's problem. Somebody else would have had to deal with or not deal with any of the stuff that I do. And I just kept thinking about it. Like, oh God, we get upset. He cheated. She cheated. He's addicted. She's addicted. How do I pay my bills? All these other things. Like, they're not unimportant things. But at the same time, are they really that important? I don't know. I'm thinking in the grand reality of life, does all that matter? And the answer is sort of yes, and more to the no side. And I understand a lot of y'all out there watching, because we have a growing audience of many thousands of people, and I appreciate that, and I hope you keep watching and smash the like button. I can hear you, some of y'all now, like, that's fine, I get it, but I'm living with all these problems now. I got to deal with that. I'm not the Yahoo that just tripped over a dog fence and killed himself. Like, that wasn't you, huh? I get it. We all got to pay our bills. I understand. But at the same time, we have so much around us that we allow ourselves to get stressed out about, and then we don't see all the beauty around us. And if we don't get out to soak in that beauty, how do we find the beauty that's inside of us and everything else? If we can't get out and notice the beauty, the calm, all the energies, the beauty inside of our friends, our loved ones. How do we find that peace and calm inside of our own selves? And I think that brings us to these dilemmas when we sit by ourselves and we're stressed out about all these different things in life, and we go, who am I? Like, really, who am I? And that is a really complicated question, because you would think, oh, I'm Kevin. I'm Kevin, I'm Jonathan, I'm Matt, I'm Richie, Andrew, all of y'all that are out here. Yeah, but what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? It's a really multi-layered question, and it's not one that's easily to define. I'm a father. I'm a father figure. I am a brother. I'm a son. And then that just barely touches the surface of all of it. And then you look in the mirror and you go, man, am I this body? Yeah, sort of, but sort of not your body. And we're going to cover that because it's a really unique thing. Because our bodies are like the flowing water faucet. You can see the body of water coming out of that faucet. You can see it. But it is different every millisecond. It is not the same. It is totally changing, just as our bodies are changing. So is that we can see it. We can see the whirlpool, the world spinning. We can see a waterfall. But that waterfall is infinitely not the same. Just non-stop changing, just as our bodies do. Does that mean we are not this body? I feel like I'm this body. I tripped and fell and smashed a cigar in my face. I hurt my elbows. But I'm still not this body. And our mom said we are what we eat. And that's true, because, whenever I eat stuff that's bad for me, I can tell that my stomach's growing. And I don't particularly like it, but also know that is going right through me. Every bit of water that I drink, I know that my body's taking this stuff and using it and changing. It's not always the same. It goes right through us. We take a crap and we pee. That's what we do. Like, it flows through us. Our bodies takes what it needs. We spit it out, and we're constantly doing that cycle every day, over and over and over again. And this is what kind of is confounding. So my body waste goes into a water treatment facility, goes into a sewer system. My buddies that live near me, their waste goes and flows with my nasty waste. All these people I don't like, their waste goes and flows with my nasty waste. They clean it. Then it comes right back to all of us. So I'm drinking my neighbor down the street's nasty waste that I don't really like, and now what I don't like him, now he's a part of me because my body needs it. My body needs to be rehydrated. Constantly. So I'm constantly flowing everybody else and all these other things into my body. So all these people that I love and that I don't like, they're all a part of me in this body every day, nonstop. So then it really gets confusing. You're like, oh God. And then you got the evaporation. And then what was me a minute ago, I go pee on a tree, it gets evaporated, it goes into the clouds, it comes back down, it's rain, it feeds a fox, it gets my dogs, the trees, the shrubs. All of a sudden, what was me is now in that tree. And then the tree evaporates and it comes back up and rains down. It gets into the water supply, and then all of a sudden I drink it, and now I'm a dinosaur dick from 10,000 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, like it's just a constant flow of what am I? So I'm still confused. My cells are constantly duplicating themselves. Constantly. When I was a kid, we were told that it was about every 7 years our body becomes totally new. Well, now we know that that's there in every couple of years. So every couple of years, my body is totally new. It's just replicating the older looking cells. All right, so if my body's new every couple of years, all right, I'm not my body. This makes me scratch my head even more. Like, okay, where am I in this big bag of flesh? Like, where is Kevin? Where's Richie? Where's Dante? Like, where are you? Where are you? We're always discarding these old cells. We learn new things. Our minds change. Our minds start rewiring themselves by thinking about different things. And so if I'm all new, I'm not really my past. I'm sort of a clone of the past. But I do have the ability to change my thoughts and my energies and be the master of my future. I can do that. We only see enough to survive. Like, I have to be able to see. I don't want to get in my truck and drive down the interstate and accidentally swerve into an 18-wheeler. Like, that's a survival thing. I can see that 18-wheeler. I can see if my buddy Kevin out here is mad at me and he wants to get up and slap me. Like, I can see that coming. I can't see sound waves. I couldn't see him tell me he loves me or hates me from sitting over there. Like, I can't see it. I can only feel it. I can't see the light waves, these lights that are shining on my face. I can't see them. I can feel them. I can't see all the information on our cell phones that every one of us in this room and every one of y'all that are watching. We just take it for granted. We have this little device and we can ask it anything and it tells us, and we just think all the information's on that phone, but it's everywhere all around us. All of that energy is flowing through us, around us, and everywhere. So if we can't fully see reality, we can only see enough to survive. Whew, that begs the question even more. Who am I? Yeah, see, I'm more confused. That's why I made this slide, because I really don't understand now who I really am at this point. It becomes really confusing. And I think if you take it one step further, you don't see things as they are. You see things how you are. That's a profound statement because it goes to the whole survival thing. We only see what our eyes allow us to see. We don't see everything else. And my projections onto you for acting in a particular way is a reflection of myself. So you can send me a text. How often have we done this? Somebody sends you a text and they're really being nice, but you perceived that they're being rude because you couldn't feel them. You couldn't see their eyes. You couldn't see their facial expressions. You couldn't see anything about them. So you just saw it how you are. You didn't see it how things really are. And then we start to think, well, I do get these high anxiety fits. I do have these feelings in my chest and my head, just always thinking about these problems, whatever's happening. You know, I got a health issue. I got to figure, oh God, my car note's about to be due and I don't have any money. Oh God, well, I have all this energy inside of me. Oh God, I got high blood pressure. How am I going to deal with this? It's interesting because scientists have proven now that and measured, they can actually measure the energy just like a cell phone tower, just like lightning. Our hearts are sending out these little, it's not fairy dust, it's real life energy. You can feel it. You can feel it when somebody loves you. Like you can genuinely feel it when somebody is happy to see you. Like I just now thought of my buddy Kevin sitting out here. Like if his daughter is walking up to him happy as can be to be able to see him, he feels that instantly. Same way with Matt and his boys. His boys get excited to see him. Yeah, I mean, what does that instantly do? They're sending you that vibe and you instantly receive it and it changes your whole chemical composition. Just like that. Our thoughts too. And our thoughts are receivers. This has been proven time and time again, especially with our pineal gland, that we do receive stuff. Just like our cell phones receive information, so do our minds act as a receiver for other information. How do you explain how many times this has happened to most people? It's just the very touch of clairvoyance. You think of somebody and bam, they call you. It's happened to just about everybody. And then you can really start exploring that and start going into other topics we've discussed about remote viewing and how people can do all kinds of unbelievable things by the power of reception in their mind. That is scientifically proven. It's not disputable. And then doctors don't even fully understand the mind. If they don't understand it, how are we going to understand it? That's a great question. They don't even know what consciousness is. They don't even know that, we look at ourselves and we're just all this big pile of flesh where zinc, copper, all these different minerals that are inside of us, the same stuff that's out in the dirt out here, except I'm able to talk to y'all. I'm able to give a hug to my buddy Richie, and we both feel it. But what's the difference between me and that pile of dirt that has every single thing that I am in it right out there? So we don't know what consciousness is. And we don't fully yet understand the power of the pineal gland. You say, all right, I'm not my body. All these thoughts, they're probably not all entirely my own because I have ideas and stuff. I don't know where they come from, and my mind's a receiver. And then you start scratching your head. You're like, God, what am I? Okay, I'm everybody because I end up drinking all the pee that all these neighbors drank the other day, and they put out. And now I really don't have all my own thoughts because I realize my mind is also a receiver, and I'm getting information from everybody else. What am I? Who the heck am I? And it becomes even more confusing and confounding because once you understand that everything is 99% space, everything, including our own bodies, we are 99% space. So if we're all space, everything is space. Even the concrete is mostly space. It's how we perceive the things. It's an amazing sort of thought. I'm going to put that in the description below because I think a lot of you might want to really delve into that. That's not an idea, it's a fact. Everything is space. So if everything is space, just like how the moon is so far away from the sun, that is how our cells are in our own body. They're just vast amounts of space. So have we gotten everything wrong? Like we focus on this materialism around us, everything that we can see. Everything that we can see. But we don't focus on the 99% that we don't see, that we don't pay attention to. So space ultimately makes matter. Yeah, that's what I do when I think about this stuff. It's like, well, somebody just put a dunce hat on me because this is, a lot to think about. And, this is all great to know, but, I still got problems. I still got stuff to deal with. That's great to know everything's space. I'm glad to know my mind's a receiver. I'm glad to know my heart's that. That's all great. But, really, who cares? I say knowing it allows us to begin. Like, it's a starting point for us to start to understand that we are a lot more than what we appear to be. Each and every one of us. If somebody else has the power to influence my chemical changes in my body by showing up with a smile, what kind of power do I have to release the chemical imbalances in my own body with my own thoughts? It's pretty important. On the most basic level, we're just energy. If you put us under a microscope, you're going to see all these little neutrons and protons and all these little things flying around, and they're producing energy. Our heart's producing these tutorial waves, and then our minds, like you can measure it. Scientists measure these things. And then it becomes not who am I, but what type of energy am I? What type of energy am I? And then what interferes with that? Like, how do I interact with other people's energy? How do I bounce their energy, their negative energy away from me? How do I not let that come into my heart and my head? How do I do these things? And what factors affect me? Another person's energy. Heck, Wi-Fi affects you on a cellular level. The sun, ideas from others, microwaves, radio cell towers. It's unbelievable. I think more importantly, the internal forces like the narrative we tell ourselves. I can't control my emotions. I'm always going to be stuck in this life's rut. I'm always going to be not good enough. Or you can be egotistical and say, I'm always going to be better than everybody. What narrative do we tell ourselves and change our energies to throw into our bodies? And are we staying proactive or are we reactive in our lives and our energy? I just think that we have the power to be the captains of our own ship. I think, what type of energy am I? And I say we can set the course of our own thoughts. We know our bodies have the ability to change themselves based upon our own thoughts. Like I have the power to determine how I interpret how y'all interact with me and I interact with you. I hold the steering wheel, and so do you. And it is a really important thing to consider, especially whenever you think of how we can see. I really like this slide. The energies of the universe created a literal blueprint. Like, we couldn't grow up and say, oh, well, I'm Matt, or I'm a chicken, or I'm a cow. Like, we have this thing. We have to be this thing. So if we are this thing, we don't have that choice. But once we grow into this mostly space and flowing thing that we are, we have free will. We can determine how we use our energy. We can determine if I send out love and support or just be an ass. Like, we are the control panel. We have it. And we know we have power like that. Because you can't get a drug on the market without placebos. People cure themselves in their mind all the time from a placebo. They think they're taking something that's going to cure them. But it's a sugar pill. It's a shot of saline solution. All of a sudden they're cured. It happens all the time, every single day, just with the power of how you think. So if how you think can control how your body reacts, wow, you better learn how to use that control panel, because you control your own energies. We bathe in it. We're around it constantly, just like we were just talking about. Y'all, my sound waves, the light waves, all the information flowing to and from our cell phones. Like, the list goes on and on and on. And if you doubt that, you can just look at a solar panel. I just think that's a great analogy. The sun's just coming in. We can't see all that energy, but we're using it and converting it, just like we do with our bodies that we don't even pay attention to. So, who am I? Who are you? Who are you? We are energy, and we can be the masters of our energy. And we're going to start delving a lot into some of these topics in a lot more detail. So I hope y'all got some value and some thought-provoking things out of that, because to me, we can make the world better one person at a time. We can start to learn how to control our emotions, our thoughts, our anxieties. And again, the mantra here basically is let ourselves be the example so we can ripple out that energy and allow other people to receive it and to be good examples and to live the best way we possibly can with love and compassion in our hearts. Thank y'all. I appreciate you joining. If you stayed this long, well then, by God, you should hit the subscribe button and like button. So thank y'all. We'll see you next time.